Hello, good morning children. Today in this video I am going to explain you class 7 geography chapter 5 water part 2. That means in the previous video I have explained what are the water uses and how much water availability is there, fresh water, and what about the remaining water in the oceans and seas. Now let's see how this water is distributed among the earth's surface. Let's be here they have given you one activity. Take 2 liters of water. So in a bowl you have to take 2 liters of water. What is the amount of this water? 2 liters. So this 2 liters, this will be, let it represent the total water on the earth's surface. So if we see these 2 liters, if we compare these 2 liters as total water on the earth's surface, measure out 12 spoons of water from this vessel into another bowl. So take a spoon and take 12 spoons of water. What is this measure? 12 spoons. 12 spoons of water. Okay, if we see this is a spoon. Okay, so this is 12 spoons of water. Take these 12 spoons from this. Okay, into another bowl. From this 2 liters you have to take how much water? 12 spoons of water. The water that is left behind in the vessel represents the salty water found in ocean. So after taking out these 12 spoons of water, whatever the water remained, that is salty water. That is the salty water which is on the in the form of oceans, in the form of oceans and seas. And this 12 spoons of water, whatever is left in this bowl, this is fresh water. Fresh water, drinking water. So I think now you understood. This much water, salty water, that is saline water is available, and only these 12 spoons of water what we are using for our purposes, this is the fresh water. Okay, this much water is there, but there is of no use. Only this 12 spoons of water we are using, that is in the form of ponds and lakes. Fresh water. This water is obviously not fit for consuming. Is this water enough for us, this much population? No, not only we, plants, animals, remaining other organism, everything is using this water. Only this much water they are using. So this water, it is saline. That means contains salts. The 12 spoons of water that was taken in a bowl is the total amount of fresh water on earth. So this is the total amount of fresh water on the earth. These 12 spoons. See for yourself how much water can actually be used by you. So from these 12 spoons of water, how much water you are using per day, how much you are consuming, now you have to understand. Now, water is absolutely essential for survival. So, for every purpose, for every work, we need water. For drinking, cleaning, washing, for irrigation, for everything we need water. Water alone can quench our thirst when we are thirsty. Now, don't you think we are wasting a precious resource when we use water carelessly? Now, after getting this activity, you understood how much water, in which farms we are wasting water. Do you understood, children? Okay, now ocean circulation. So now we are saying this is salty water in the form of oceans and seas. So what about this ocean circulation? Let's see. There is something magical about walking barefoot on the seashore. Have you ever gone to beaches? Yes or not? Seashore. How wonderful, how magical there is walking on the barefoot without any shoes. If we walk on the beach, means how magical. The wet sand on the beach, the cool breeze, the sea birds, the smell of the salt in the air, and music of the waves. Everything is so fascinating. Yes or not? Do you have ever gone to beaches? How much enjoyment you got maybe there. It is so fascinating. Unlike the calm waters of ponds and lakes, ocean water keeps moving continuously. In the ponds and oceans, no. In the ponds and lakes, the water is stable, calm. It will not. But in near the oceans, how the ocean water will be? Waves will come, cool breezes. We like to play there. If we want to have some entertainment, enjoyment means all the maximum people, they will go to oceans, seashores they will go. Do they go to tanks and lakes? No, nobody will go, because there the water is stable. But near the oceans, in the oceans and seas, the water flows, winds will come, and the ocean breeze, the total atmosphere will be of different. It is never still. The movements that occur in oceans can be broadly categorized as waves, tides, and currents. So, that ocean water movements also broadly categorized into three parts, three types. What are they? Waves. Waves. Second one is tides. And third one is currents. So, movements of water in ocean. In oceans. Movements of water in oceans are broadly categorized into three types. What are they? Waves, tides, and currents. Okay. Now see each of them. What are the three types? Waves, tides. The movements of water in oceans broadly categorized into three types. One is waves, second one tides, and third one currents. Okay. What are waves? When you are playing throw ball on the beach and the ball falls into the water, what happens? When you have gone for a picnic or something to the beach, if you are playing the throw ball means ball falls into water, then what it happens? It is fun to watch how the ball gets washed back to the shore by the waves. Okay, if we throw the water, the ball into the ocean means it will come back, because waves, what they will do? They will push up the ball back. When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternately, they are called waves. So, I am writing here definition. See children, waves. Waves definition. When the water on the oceans, on the surface, when the water on the surface of the ocean, rises and falls alternately, they are called waves. You know, every day there will be movements in water. Okay, the ocean water will rise and fall. Those movements are called as waves. They are called as waves. See, they have given picture also. The surface, when the water on the surface of the oceans alternately rises and falls, then they are called as waves. Okay, next. During a storm, the winds blowing at very high speed form huge waves. During storm, that means cyclone or something, when it happens, then these waves, they will blow with very high speed. These may cause tremendous destruction. You know already what kind of loss we will get when a storm hits the edge of a place. An earthquake, a volcanic eruption, or underwater landslides can shift large amounts of ocean water. So, if a tsunami happens or earthquake occurs or underwater landslides, if these types of disasters happen, means what it happens, it can shift large amounts of ocean water. That means all these will happen under the oceans only. So with that, the ocean water will spread to the higher levels. As a result, a huge tidal wave called tsunami that may be as high as 15 meters. So from the ground level to 15 meters height, this ocean water rises, and that is called tsunami. That is called tsunami. Is formed. The largest tsunami ever measured was 150 meters high. Till now, some tsunamis occurred, but the largest one is raised up to 150 meters high. 150 meters height. These waves travel at a speed of more than 700 kilometers per hour. Per 1 hour, they will spread with how many kilometers? 700 kilometers speed. Per 1 hour, 700 kilometers speed they will travel. The tsunami of 2004 caused widespread damage in the coastal areas of India. So, in 2004, there occurred a tsunami. It occurred in 2004, and with this tsunami, a lot of destruction happened. Where? In coastal areas. In coastal areas of India. The Indira Point in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands got submerged after the tsunami. So, in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there is Indira Point. One type of place is there. That place is merged under the submerged under the ocean. Okay. Now, what is that place? Indira Point. Indira Point. Under where it is? In Andaman and Nicobar Islands. That means if this is India map, this side Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there Indira Point, it got submerged under the Pacific. This tsunami. Next. So this is about waves. Next, tides. Second one is tides. Let's see about these tides. Tides. What are these tides? The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water. The rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water. Okay, ocean water twice in a day. Twice in a day is called a tide. Okay, the rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. Here, waves means, what are the waves? When the water on the surface of the earth, ocean, rises and falls alternately. Okay, the alternate rise and fall of ocean water is called waves. Here, what are tides? Rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day. Okay, twice in a day, they are called as tides. It is high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. Okay, if the up to this ocean is there and this is land, means if ocean water, how much far it comes, that means far to the land side, then we can say that when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level, that is called high tide. That is called high tide. If the ocean water covers much of the land shore, then that is high tide. And at the same time, the ocean water, when it goes back deep in backside, then that is called low tide. Okay, if it comes from front side, then that is how much area it covers, then it is called as high tide. And how much area it goes back, the ocean water goes back, that is called low tide. Okay, it is low tide when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. Recedes from the shore means going back to the shore. Shore నుంచి వెనక్కి వెళ్తుంది. ముందుకి ఎంత ముందుకు వస్తే అది హై టైడ్ అవుతుంది. అలాగే ఎంత వెనక్కి, ఎంత బ్యాక్ సైడ్కి వెళ్తే సీ షోర్కి, రిసీడ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సీ షోర్కి వెనక్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ లో టైడ్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్. The strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. You know, the sun is the earth and the moon, they are revolving around the sun. So the gravitational pull of these exerted by the sun and moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. For this formation, for this tide formation, what is the reason? The gravitational pull of the sun and moon. Sun and moon's gravitational pull is the reason to form these tides. The water of the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of the moon's gravitational force and causes high tide. If the gravitational pull of the moon is higher means then the ocean water comes front. It comes front. Then high tide will happen when gravitational pull is more. Gravitational force of moon. The gravitational force of moon is higher, then water comes to the, it occupies more land part, then that is called high tide. During the full moon and new moon days, the sun, the moon and the earth are in the same line and the tides are highest. So when it happens, okay, on the full moon day or Amavasya. So on these 2 days, the gravitational pull of the moon will be more. That time these high tides will form. So that time when those high tides will happen, the tides are called as spring tides. So that highest tides are called as spring tides. They are called as spring tides. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the ocean waters get drawn diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pull of sun and earth, resulting in low tides. So if the moon is in the first quarter position, okay, if the moon is in the first quarter position, then these low tides will happen. So the tides are called as neap tides. Okay, here they have said, see, neap tide forms like this. Okay, I will explain you. First I have explained spring tides, no? So on the spring tides means this is sun, moon and this is earth, or otherwise here sun, here earth and here moon. So if the moon is, okay, see, in between the sun and the earth, okay, see here, in between the sun and earth, moon comes. So then by that time we can't see sun. So on the day what will happens? This is Amavasya day. Okay, Amavasya. So the moon's gravitational pull will be more towards the earth. So water rises. High tides will happen. And at the same time sun, earth, moon. Okay. So I'm sorry. Here sunlight will fall on moon and this is full moon day. Because moon is near to the sun. So the gravitational force will be more and then high tides will happen. But here in between sun and moon, the earth comes and sunlight will not fall on moon. Then this is time of Amavasya. This is the time of Amavasya. Then also with the gravitational pull of the sun, it works on earth. Here also high tides will form. So that time happened tides. These tides are called spring tides. These are spring tides. Okay. This is full moon day and this is Amavasya time. So during these two times the gravitational pull of the moon works on the ocean water and the ocean water rises to its highest level. Then high tides will form. Those high tides are called as spring tides. These are spring tides. Spring tides. Next, neap tide. Neap tide. Neap tide, see the position of the sun. This is sun and here this is earth and the moon is here on the first quarter. Okay, moon is here. Okay, so the moon is in its first and last quarter. Moon is in the first and last quarter. So this time the water recedes from the shore. So the gravitational pull doesn't work much. So water recedes from the shore. That time happened. Tides are called neap tides. Okay, I hope you understood with this. High tides help in navigation. They raise the water level close to the shores. So with the high tides, those people who travels on the ocean water, they can see the high levels of tides, high tides, and it will help in navigation. And that water, those tides, they rise to the water level close to the shores. That means the water will goes to the shore side. Then people will see in which direction the water is going, that side land will be there, so that they can reach the land. This helps the ships to arrive at the harbor more easily. So according to the direction of the seashores, they will travel and the ships, they will reach harbor easily. The high tides also help in fishing. So during these high tides also, people can go for fishing. They can get more fish. Many more fish come closer to the shore during the high tide. So during these high tides, these fish also come to the shore side. This enables fishermen to get a plentiful catch. The rise and fall of water due to tides is being used to generate electricity in some places. So these tides, that is called, with these high tides and low tides, we can generate electricity also. That is called as in next classes. That means in 8th class you will learn about that producing electricity with these tides, that is called as tidal energy. That is called tidal energy. It will come in your 8th class. Not in this class. In 8th class you will learn about this. So this is about the movements of the ocean water. Next, ocean currents. The third one. I think I will explain that in the next video. Till now, I hope you understood, children. Thank you. Have a nice day.